Today I'm going to be talking about focusing on inner strengths, and there's 5 themes. This is all inspired by my Rise to Resilience course from Kripalu. The instructor is amazing, and I'm getting a lot of benefits from it. So these are 5 topics. The first one is called wisdom, valuing the mind. These are things like creativity, perspective, curiosity, judgment, love of learning. So I see in myself, I make art and read intuitively and spiritually. I have deep conversations. I'm investigating, discovering, analyzing. I recognize that I'm not afraid of my mind being blown open to new ideas instead of repressing any thoughts. I recognize that I'm able to compare and contrast, yet also I have curiosity. I'm a researcher. I'm asking questions, and part of my value of wisdom is to seek God in all, the truth within, find that thread that's the real. I'm also a Kabbalah student, which is the brave venturing into one-mindedness, that we all share one mind, and that there's a collective conscious. And we are all actually cells in one big body too. Balancing the left and right mind for me is also wisdom, which is the associative, the associative critical with the associative creative with the critical judgment. And of course, beyond reprogramming the mind, comparing, contrasting, there's also this sense of using these skills. Like I do journaling, and I do self-study, academic pursuits. I take summits and webinar programs. And also I want to say that I was initiated into a wisdom lineage. Chabad, Lubavitch, I was raised in, is a mystic, esoteric kind of discipline. I'm going to move into the next strength now, which is justice, valuing community. This has things to do with fairness, leadership, and teamwork. So first of all, I really try very hard only to take what I need so others' portion is not lessened. These are people who may need. Not wanting to be or to have others be judged for things like money, how much money you have, age, too young, too old, color or race or whatever, appearance, weight, height. Another is wanting to start a business to unite the gifts of Jews with other cultures' gifts so that community can become more resilient and dimensional. I attended the Crown Heights cooking group when I was growing up, which was, as a teenager, which was Caribbean and Jewish teenage girls cooking and making a recipe book, and I was doing photography in it together. And I kind of feel like I want to do something like take Caribbean food maybe that's kosher and have people join together for learning, for eating, for inspiration. And then the gifts of one side can help the other, and the gifts of the other side can help the first side. Also doing my part to speak up and not hide my voice, and to go places that welcome diversity. So this is representing justice in the world, representing my own uniqueness and differences. Finally, working on my biases and conditioning. This is a hard one because they're often invisible and I don't see where they are. So my commitment to justice is doing this work so I could be open to healthy communication and respect also other people's differences. Maybe they're not doing what I want or what I think they should. Next is humanity, valuing others, love, kindness, social intelligence. So I thought about this and I wanted to do it really honestly because, of course, I love people, but a lot of it could be conditional love. Like I love people who are part of my community, who increase my peace and tranquility. But instead I thought, what is it? Valuing others, not for necessarily what they give me, but for the sake of humanity. So praying for others, sending healing, even when they don't know I'm caring so much. Deeply wanting everyone to feel belonging, feeling intuitively what the emotional needs of the person or people I'm dealing with, and not trying to be the tough love. Like, just because there's a need there, I think our society is often like, oh, take away the need. If you don't need, you'll be happy. But actually, there's enough tough love. Like, sometimes the soft love is needed more to be led with. And I would say that's my focus actually today. Specifically today, I've been focusing on the soft love. I take that very deeply, like in a hard world. The next is I'm afraid of conflict and hurting anyone or making anyone feel unworthy or getting bad karma for treating someone with callousness. And I know this is not necessarily a positive, but it does keep me kind. So it's like the fear of God, putting the fear of God in her. It was put in me a little, in a sense, right? Not wanting to really hurt anyone, but sometimes I overly assume and think someone's more delicate than they are, and that's almost worse because you're not really seeing, you're being too soft, you're not seeing where they're actually strong. And finally, I want everyone to be whole and happy for the sake of the world peace, even if it means appeasing, being the bigger person, accommodating, not getting my way. Temperance. I actually got this card recently a few times in my tarot readings, and I think I even got it once when I think I got it the time I did my tarot readings out loud on this channel, the YouTube video. This is valuing the self. This is self-regulation, forgiveness, prudence, humility. This is like keeping the self in check, right? So recognizing my fear of rejection and abandonment has guided my connections in the past. Externally, trying to be needed, irreplaceable, even finding those with vulnerabilities who couldn't as easily step into their power and move on the way they could if they were more self-sufficient and independent. Pretty much doing to me what was done and learning that others tried to use my vulnerabilities to make me dependent on them, but I also did this is to regulate myself, to become more independent myself and self-sufficient, and then not need these unhealthy dynamics and not be used in them either. This is like prudence, like with my energy. Like, why should I do so much for this person to do for me rather than just do for me and then what I have extra do for them? So that's where I'm growing. And I'm doing a great job. Recognizing how I don't want to be fixed or stuck in these energy agreements that are based on low self-esteem and low self-confidence. That it's like I have to stay small to be connected, or I have to kind of need you because I don't like myself and distract myself from myself, and recognizing that that's like an energy agreement that I have to continue to not love myself. We can't connect when I love myself if we don't build that together. And then a newfound respect for those or me who don't try to have control or power over others. This is that softness, right? Learning to be okay with myself as I am, taking care of myself, including even whether it's disciplining myself, discernment, like, is this really not for me? But humbling